Good evening or good morning, wherever you happen to be. We are sitting in Idaho and we are in the Taog's hangar, Alouette. Now, he is getting ready to release the llama, which is the uh, accurate helicopter for this place. But I think the llama is either a development off of the Alouette. I think they just shrank the cabin size down and opened it up a bit, but I think it uses the same engine. Maybe it came before. I don't know. But we're at Kressel, which is the Helitack base in Idaho for fighting fires. And I'm going to try to fly the river to the northeast. And if we look at our compass right now, we are facing west. So we're going to have to turn and go that direction, I suppose, because we are facing 27 roughly right now. So if we're facing west here, we're going to have to turn north, and then northeast we got to go up the river, and we're going to go to Wilson's Bar. That's my plan. Will we make it? I don't know. But you know what would be helpful? If I opened up a little nav map and saw whether it has, you should hear it opening there, whether it actually has that in there or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get the helicopter started. We're going to open our fuel valve. I've heard some people asking for reviews of this helicopter, and I absolutely love it. Those who know that I also love the Height Performance Group helicopters. And they are phenomenal helicopters. They really are just wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing up and running. Just battery and position lights or anti-collision lights for now. Turn on our fuel pump. And we'll get it started. And we're going to wait a bit for to start introducing fuel. And this thing, like I've probably talked about this before, sort of shakes itself to pieces at certain points. You get those sort of sympathetic regions where the blades, see that you heard the click as the turbine's kicking over. We should start to see some blade movement. Okay, we are getting a little more fuel introduced. There it goes. The engine starts to kick over. All right, picking up some speed now. I really like the animation. I love the textures in here. Really, to me, what's fun about this helicopter is the flight model. And I've heard and read a lot of people reviewing this thing who are virtual helicopter pilots and don't have a clue, but I can tell you Taog spends a lot of time talking to real-world pilots that fly this particular helicopter who know it inside and out, and they've all said, yep, good job. You've done a phenomenal job recreating what it's like to fly in that helicopter. So I'm going to take their word for it that we're doing good. So we have to go. I said I wanted to go to... we go to Soldier's Bar. That's pretty... I guess it's not too far, but I really want to go to Wilson's Bar, which, like I said, is sort of it's off in, let me turn my head here with the mouse, that direction roughly. So we're going to go that direction and see where we get to. So turn on my head tracking, and I don't think we need the landing light on, so we'll turn that off. We'll take off here. Hopefully I can control this thing. Let's see how we do. Already starting to lean. My bad. It's always best to sort of pay attention out the front window during a takeoff, but I wasn't, so we're good. But we're good now, right? And we said we want to go that way. So we're just going to sort of follow the river up that direction, and hopefully that'll get us where we're going, over to Wilson's Bar. I'm going to use my mouse to raise my viewpoint just a little bit because the head tracking was being a little funky. And I think we have the English or the Imperial system in the cockpit here, so we're not using the metric measurements. I've installed a mod from flightsim.to. I'm an American. I absolutely understand metric. I was raised with the metric system in 1976. It was actually encouraged in schools. When I was going through school, you actually had to learn the metric system. It was a program with the federal government to make us learn the metric system. If you didn't learn the metric system in school, that's not my problem. I'm sorry that you didn't learn it. That's too bad. You lost out and you missed a really great opportunity, but you can always learn it on your own. But I'm just more comfortable with the Imperial system. I understand how the metric system works. That's not the problem. It's just everything I grew up with, everything I've seen measured, with the exception of soft drinks. Everything else is, and I mean, I'm familiar with temperatures, but because of chemistry class and whatnot. But for the most part, everything is still done on the Imperial system here. So let's stop talking about that and let's talk about flying in this helicopter. This helicopter, believe it or not, has a lot of add-ons or additional modules for it that are a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and put the co-pilot in there. There's a winch. We can put the boxes on the side. You can put a rescue worker or a medical bed in here. So we go to SAR equipment or search and rescue equipment, and they'll give us like an ambulance bed back there. I don't particularly care for the ambulance right now because we're working in the backwoods, but I put the winch on, and what else? I can't really read that. What's that say? Oh yeah, put the glare shield on. I don't really want the antennas or the mirrors or the sling or the Bambi bucket. Don't really care for that stuff for what we're doing today, which is just visiting some... Whoops, sorry. Not flying the best when I'm not looking out that way. So we'll go ahead and reset my point of view here. Whoa, not quite like that. That's a little off-putting. There we go. That's a little better. Not much, but a little. And we'll keep flying our way up to Wilson's Bar. Again, I'm going to bring my head up just a touch because it's really low there. Love the blade slap noise in this. Really gives you a sense of immersion. Love the textures. Love everything that he's done with this helicopter. And believe it or not, and I've seen some people asking about the Llama, Friday is the plan release day for the Llama for Taog's Hangar. Sorry. I asked actually on the Discord how to pronounce it, and I think he said Taog. Taog? I don't know. Doing my best, sir. Hope I'm not offending anybody by mispronouncing it. Certainly not trying to. But we'll continue here through the backcountry of Idaho in our helicopter, make our way up to Wilson's Bar along the river. It's beautiful scenery in this area. So we just left Kressel, which is near, really there's sort of a triangle of fields there, or not fields, maybe airstrips. So everybody knows Johnson Creek in Idaho. There's a really wonderful payware available for Johnson Creek, and you can get that on Orbix, and I think maybe the TO has it. I'm not positive, but I know Orbix has it, and I know it's on the marketplace. Great scenery package. And then we're going up to Wilson's Bar, which is also available. You can get it freeware. I think there's a freeware Johnson Creek too, but the payware ones are really well done. MSX Scenery did The Deadly 3 for Idaho and the Not So Deadly 3 for Idaho, with a lot of really neat additions to it. Those are both available on Orbix, and we'll be flying into, well, the plan is to land at Wilson's Bar, which is one of the airstrips from the Not So Deadly 3 that's, like I said, on Orbix. We'll fly up there. But lots and lots and lots of freeware between here and who else has it? You've got it on the Bush Divers website, the Got Gravel or Got Friends website has some Idaho as well. Lots of people really like flying into these remote strips in the Idaho backcountry, and they're absolutely worth popping into if you get an opportunity. What in the world is that blue down there? Looks like we're missing a texture, perhaps. Huh. I don't know what that is. That is odd. Anyway, we'll continue flying up the sort of canyon here. We're going up to Wilson's Bar in the Not So Deadly 3. And go visit the airstrips. Anyway, the Kressel airstrip is named after one of the guys that settled the area. There was a guy named Reed. So there's Reed Ranch, Johnson Creek, and Kressel. And Kressel is the U.S. Forest Service helitack base for putting out forest fires here in Idaho. And I think Reed was like a gold miner back in the hills, and he put a homestead up, and then got into a fight with Kressel, his neighbor, who had a homestead about 6 miles down the river. And anyway, at Reed Ranch, if you go out there, I think it's Idaho ID 92 or I-92, you can go to Reed Ranch. The grave site for Kressel's there. They had a big gunfight between the two of them, a fight over, oh gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had a gunfight, and Reed killed Kressel, and he's buried at the Reed Ranch. So if you fly into the Reed Ranch airstrip, but I don't know why I'm mentioning that, except that we took off from the Kressel airstrip. We're not going to go to Reed Ranch. I'm not even sure that a Reed Ranch scenery has been created for Idaho in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Maybe somebody's working on it. I don't know. It'd be awfully nice to have that one. One of the nice things about the MSX sceneries is he's not just putting in airstrips, but he's putting in, you know, wildlife and birds and effects of smoke and river rapids, and he's putting in fire watchtowers, which you'll spot occasionally. It's not really an Easter egg. They really exist, and in fact, they're used as VFR landmarks. Love that blade slap sound. I hope you guys can hear it over me talking. I don't know that I have the desktop audio up loud enough, but really neat to hear that blade slap in this. Looks like a little town down there. Anyway, the town of Yellow Pine sort of sits at I think it's just north of Johnson Creek. So Reed Ranch, Kressel, Johnson Creek sort of sit in a triangle near the town of Yellow Pine. And we're just, I think this is the South Fork of the Salmon River we're following here. A calmer part of the Salmon River. A lot of the Salmon River through Idaho is used for whitewater rafting, and you can get some really good tours of the salmon, but I think those sit more on, I think the salmon and the snake are sort of the big whitewater rafting destinations in Idaho and Wyoming. So if you ever get up this way, make sure you take a whitewater rafting trip. If you ever make it into Jackson, Wyoming, Jackson Hole is a ski resort. It is not the name of the town. The town is Jackson, Wyoming. But if you ever fly into the Jackson Hole Airport, which is course, the airport's more or less for the ski resort and for the town of Jackson. But if you ever fly into Jackson Hole, you should make sure to sign up for a whitewater rafting trip. It's an awful lot of fun, and the scenery is absolutely beautiful. And the water's not that cold in the middle of summer anyway. This time of year a little colder, and in the spring cold, but if you go there in the summertime, absolutely beautiful. Of course, most people go to Jackson Hole for the skiing. That's really what that resort's known for. Just up there is going to be the Warren Forest Service. There's a ranch down there here in Idaho. I'm not sure whose ranch that is, but we're coming up on McKay Bar. We'll see that one, and then we'll see Wilson's Bar, and we're going for Wilson's Bar. That's the part of the Not So Deadly 3 that we're going to land at as part of our flight here tonight. This thing flies really well. It's much easier to control than some of the other helicopters you might have purchased for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's a couple of the helicopters that are just a little too antsy for my taste. I'm not a fan of the H-125. I don't feel like they did a good job. I don't think Cohen Sim did a great job porting that one over. The textures aren't good. The quality of that one, I'm just not a fan of. Their 206, I love their Long Ranger and their 206. They're both great helicopters. Really enjoy flying those around. Really like the McDonnell Douglas 500. It's a little twitchy for my taste, but I'm sure in real life that helicopter is incredibly twitchy too. Maybe not quite as twitchy as it is in the sim, but it's a fun one to try to manhandle. To me, by far, my favorite helicopters are again this one, the Alouette by Taog or Taog, and then the 145 and the 160 by Performance Group. But if you really like helicopters, or you just want a good single engine workhorse of a helicopter to do all kinds of things for you, the Taog one is a really fun one to... Oops, sorry about that. Getting some looks here at some things that I wasn't too sure about, so sorry I'm getting a little jumpy on the screen. I apologize. But we'll just keep climbing the river here, and not sure there's any fire towers around here. We got Chicken Peak coming up here, but as we climb out of the valley and further up, we'll start to see more of what we're looking for now. This time of day, it's actually dark in Idaho right now this time of year, but I've changed the time of year a little bit, changed the daylight hours so that we would have a little more fun flying down here in the canyons. Let's nose over and get down closer to the water. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to break our helicopter, that's for sure. So let's slow down just a touch. But, you might as well enjoy, if you're going to fly through canyons, you might as well really enjoy flying through canyons. Oh, we used to bullseye womp rats back home. Really enjoy flying this thing through canyons. This is a fictional livery. There's a helicopter company based out of McCall, Idaho, called Base Camp Aviation. They don't fly the Alouette. I think at one point they may have had a Llama, but they mostly fly H-125s. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of the H-125 for 2020. But I do like this helicopter, so I fly this and the other two by HPG as often as I can. This one's great as long as I'm doing backcountry flying, and I don't mind long stretches of hand flying the plane, or sorry, the aircraft, the helicopter. The high performance group ones are my favorite cruisers for going long distances or having to hover for periods of time performing missions with their great action pack. And Taog is coming up with some nice improvements for this helicopter, where you can use the Bambi bucket also to put out fires, and you can drop water from it, and we can lower the winch with a rescue worker. I don't know if you can see the hook outside the door there, but we can lower rescue workers on this one too. So you can let a guy swing, or you can pick up loads of cargo with your hook, and it's a lot of fun. I do like this because the open cockpit just feels like it's designed for you to be looking around for things, doing observation. So if I were going out and I was going to look for fires, forest fires, or if I was doing a search and rescue, I think that the Alouette and the Llama would be perfect for those jobs. And we'll see Friday when the Llama comes out how that handles. But if this one, see the rapids down there as we continue to fly over the Salmon River, when the Llama comes out on Friday, we'll see if Taog has continued his quality control on the flight model of that new helicopter. If it's anything like this one, of course, it'll be an instant success with me, because I think the flight model for this one is just wonderful. It is so easy and smooth, and handles really well. Really enjoy it, and he works on it constantly, making improvements and updates for it. So I'm going to start slowing down and coming down a bit. We've got Wilson's Bar coming up, but before we get there, like I said, we're going to pass over Mackay Bar. Mackay Bar on your map will be ID or India Delta 28. Wilson's Bar is Charlie 48. We just left 24 Carat or Cressel, so and there we go. You can see Mackay Bar down there. There's a nice dock. Look at that. Nice, really big lodge. And boat. What else do we have around here? Some airplanes waiting at Mackay Bar. Really nice scenery. And I think that one's a freeware on the TO. If anybody's interested in picking that one up, it doesn't cost you a penny. And you can fly your favorite Cub variant in there, whether you like the Kit Fox or any of your other favorite small bush planes. I bet you could probably get a good size bush plane in there too, so you're not limited to just the little ones. There's a nice house there as well. Here comes our bridge. And come over here and take a look at the bridge a bit. This would be a neat place to drive the Parallel 42 Juice Goose, wouldn't it? Nice little back road area. You got a road over here. Drive along, go off road a little bit, drive through the water, and we're coming up on Wilson Bar. I've been saying Wilson's Bar. It's not Wilson's Bar, it's Wilson Bar, so I apologize. But it should be coming up here on the left side of the river as we're continuing our trek north. And there's some rapids there. You can see the water going by. And we'll come in here and put down at the airstrip, check things out, and we'll take a look at the helicopter. We'll shut down and take a look at everything. Okay. Let's see if I can make a landing without embarrassing myself too much. It looks like there's already a Forest Service plane down there, and there's some nice ponderosa pines in the way. I saw a deer passing beneath us. Let's try to get down without killing ourselves. We may have gotten caught in our vortex. No, we were good. I was just getting panicked. Well, I shouldn't have panicked. Okay, so we'll come back around and land closer to the Twin Otter here. Should be nobody around this time of year except for that Forest Service plane at best. Oh no, we flubbed that. Let's fix our landing, get ourselves up on some flat ground a little here. Oh, come on, don't kill yourself, Dad. Okay. Not the best helicopter pilot in the world, but we did what we could. And we'll go ahead and turn off the head tracking. And we'll turn off some of these lights. And let's go to the overhead view. Take a look. Position lights, anti-collision lights I'm going to leave on. Turn off the pitot heat. Avionics, alternator can stay on until we're done. We're going to go ahead and just sort of kill the fuel now. Turn off the fuel flow. Turn off the fuel pump. Everything should be good there. Close the fuel valve. Oh, we got a little bit of a choppiness there. Sorry about the frame rate. Let's open some doors and get some fresh air in here. And I know there's a door handle here somewhere. Can't remember where it is though. What am I not seeing? There it is. And there's our little baskets on the side. What about you, Bob? You want to take a hike or go fishing or something while we're up here? You feel free. See if we can find the door here. No, there's a door latch. There it is. There's our door latch. And we got room in the back for 3 passengers as well. We'll go ahead and turn off the lights. And turn off the battery. And I'll turn on the rotor brake, I guess. Give it a second. How close are we to being able to pull the rotor brake? I think we're okay. Now that last sound's not great, but everything else seems pretty good. All right, let's take a look at the clipboard that we have available to us, and we'll take a look at the accessories, if you will. Obviously, we can get rid of our pilot, our co-pilot here, and I showed you the boxes on the outside. Get rid of those. And there's a winch there. Let's get rid of the winch. Winch is gone now. And get rid of that glare shield off the dash. I guess there's antennas here as well, and I think those are primarily on military helicopters, but we just pretend that they're for search and rescue. Then we have some megaphones, some little speakers that we can see up front here, blasting people our ride to the Valkyrie as we go over, I guess. And let's get rid of the megaphones, and we can put. Well, obviously there's mirrors there, etc., but I'm going to put the engine covers on. And did I do that? No, I did not. Okay. So we'll shut that off. Anyway, lots of fun to fly this thing, believe it or not. I know there have been, like I said, some reports from folks that, especially maybe they were early adopters. I don't know, but it's been updated quite a bit, and I really enjoy flying this thing. It is so nice to fly, so comfortable, and it feels like what you would expect, or what I would expect out of a helicopter. And the the real-world pilots all seem to agree that he's done a phenomenal job creating this helicopter. So let's come over here. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to do this. And go back inside, and I need to shut these doors up. I think. There we go. There. Oh, whoop, not that way. Let's go this way. I think we can click here. Whoa, cut myself in half. You know, see, the textures aren't phenomenal, but they're certainly not trash. They're really good. He's done a really good job with this interior. There's some wear and tear in here. I'm big fan of his work so far, and this is the only one of his helicopters I've seen, but I really, really like it. 3 seats across, lots of space, lots of room for all kinds of utility behaviors that you want to do in this thing. You got all your working circuit breakers. Certainly no slouch, this helicopter. I think he's done a really good job with it. And then you have things like you can bring up the radar. There's a number of things that were sort of hidden for people, but they're there. Is it this and then this? No. That brings the radar up, I know for sure. I can't remember what that one does. But there's a number of sort of hidden switches as well. You want to get rid of the GPS, which I prefer to not have the GPS. Makes sense. Bring out the charts. Just all kinds of fun stuff. Get rid of the doors altogether or have doors. Up to you. Really nice helicopter. Got our little radar dome in the front now. The guy's operating. Let's turn that off. We don't want the dome going. Got our little vent in the front to let air in. Anyway, if you like flying helicopters, I really do recommend this one. I think the guy creating these things is doing a fantastic job. Best hand flying helicopter I've got so far, I think. This and like I said, the 206. I really enjoy, let's see, the Cabri that comes with the sim, the default one. I actually do like that one. I like the 407 with the mod that's available. I feel like I have to have the mod to fly the 407. I really do like both of the 206s from Cowan Sim. I love the Hype Performance Group helicopter, both the 145 and the 160, and I love the Alouette, and I anticipate that I will love the Llama. So go out and pick this one up in anticipation of the Llama. If not, wait for the Llama and come out and spend some time with us in Idaho. Let's see what what it looks like out here for real right now. Turn on live weather and live time of day. You can see there's some lights along the hill. Maybe there's people out camping. I don't know. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching another video, and we'll try to give you another review in the future. Thanks. Bye-bye.